Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We continue to follow that breaking news in Utah. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk, you see him on your screen right here, has died after being shot in the neck during an event he was holding at Utah Valley University.
Within just the past 90 minutes, Kirk's organization, Turning Point USA, confirmed his death in a letter to employees and supporters. That was shortly after President Trump posted on social media saying Kirk had died. It was around 3 o'clock our time. Kirk was on stage outdoors speaking at a Turning Point event when he was shot. Now, despite earlier reports, police say the shooter is not in custody. We will, of course, continue to update this breaking news situation as developments come into our newsroom.
And we're also following another tragic breaking news story, this time in Colorado. At least 3 students were injured in a shooting at Evergreen High School in Colorado. It's about 28 miles outside of Denver.
Investigators say a 4th student who is believed to be the shooter was also transported to the hospital after being, quote, neutralized by police. It's unclear if that means the alleged shooter was injured or perhaps killed by officers. The school is no longer on lockdown. Officers are sweeping classrooms one by one and securing the scene. The FBI and ATF are assisting in the investigation there.
Now we take you to Macomb County. There are calls for action tonight after a serious damage was done to a local mosque.
Vandals hit the Islamic Organization of North America over on Ryan Road, just south of 12 Mile. Jay Scott Smith live for us with a look at the damage, also the reaction from people there, Jay.
Yes, indeed. Good evening, everybody. Now, as you see right here, we're actually standing in the parking lot where a lot of the construction is going on here at this mosque that's been on Ryan Road for nearly 20 years. And the imam who runs it simply wants to know who did this and why.
Who would want to do such a thing? This is a house of worship.
Steve L. Turk is the imam at the Islamic Organization of America Mosque on Ryan Road in Warren. Over the weekend, a wing of the building that's currently under construction was broken into and vandalized.
Why would they vandalize a place where we worship God?
The damage included smashed glass, graffiti spray painted on walls, floors, and equipment, and a door that was kicked in and thrown into a basement. Normally, the incident would have been caught on video surveillance.
Unfortunately, we had to take down the surveillance cameras because of the construction.
The mosque was the first in the city of Warren. It's home to multiple worship halls, as well as a soup kitchen and a space to give homeless people a place to sleep. He bought the property in 2005 and started the masjid 2 years later. He says at the time he faced heavy pushback, including acts of vandalism and death threats from the community, which he says harbored anti-Muslim sentiments in the aftermath of 9/11.
We were vehemently opposed from city officials all the way down to residents nearby.
He says the relationship with the community has drastically improved over the last 20 years, owing it as much to a change in attitudes toward Muslims as well as the support of other clergy. After this act of vandalism, he simply wants whoever did this to do the right thing and come forward.
It's not about, breaking windows and doors and vandalizing and painting over machines and what have you. You have violated a sacred space.
Now, the Michigan chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations has offered a $1,000 reward for information on an arrest as well as a conviction into what happened here at this mosque. And we will add that he's also mentioned that he's already spending nearly $1 million just to be able to make the upgrades. He has no idea how much it will cost to fix the damage that's come on top of the construction that he's had out here on Ryan Road. We're in Warren. I'm Jay Scott Smith for Local 4.
As he said, violated sacred space. Jay, thank you very much.
All right, a new report finds that Michigan utilities rank among the worst in the nation for energy reliability. The 2025 Utility Performance Report published by Michigan's Citizen Utility Board found that Michigan utilities have continuously failed to improve their basic reliability performance. Noel Friel joining us live after following this today to break it all down. This is not a very flattering picture of the utility, Noel.
Yeah, no, it's not. According to this report, Michigan had some of the worst rankings in the country when it comes to power restoration after an outage. It's something that the largest energy providers in the state have been working to turn around. A new report published by the Citizens Utility Board of Michigan analyzes how Michigan compares to other states when it comes to energy reliability. The report draws data from 2023, the most recent data available from the U.S. Energy Information Administration.
The biggest problem is power restoration time. How long does it take for the power to come back on after an outage? Michigan is dead last in the country out of the 50 states plus the District of Columbia on that front.
The report found Michigan ranked 51st out of the 50 states and the District of Columbia in a measure of average power restoration time. It ranked 50th in a measure of total outage duration for each customer served. The report found on average, in Michigan, it took about 12 hours to restore power following an outage in 2023, over twice as long as any other neighboring state.
The utilities have done a poor job of investing in the grid and investing in the kind of strategies that prevent outages from happening.
In recent years, DTE has taken steps like installing smart devices to prevent outages, trimming trees, and modernizing equipment. In 2024, Consumers Energy announced its own $1 billion investment to strengthen the grid and upgrade its technology. Michigan's Public Service Commission has also made its own efforts, including conducting an audit of both energy providers.
They're going to try to make sure that the utilities implement these findings of the audit. And so we'll see if that starts to make a difference over the next few years in terms of improving reliability.
And both DTE and Consumers Energy say that their efforts have been paying off. At the start of 2025, DTE reported a 12% reduction in restoration times. Consumers Energy reported a 12% reduction in restoration times, while DTE reported a nearly 70% reduction. We'll have the response from both of those providers in this story at clickondetroit.com. Live in Detroit, Noel Friel, Local 4.
And all this going on while the utilities are trying to raise rates yet again after a rate hike just went into effect not too long ago. Noel, thank you.
All right, a new report out today in The Athletic highlights a series of misconduct allegations against men within the Detroit Tigers organization. So the report spotlights alleged sexual misconduct and mistreatment of women employed by Illich Sports and Entertainment dating back to 2023. 8 men are named in the article, of which 7 were accused of mistreating female colleagues. 2 of them were fired, 2 resigned, and 1 is currently suspended. The writers spoke with 45 former and current employees, some of whom described a boys' club culture in the Tigers organization. Meantime, in a statement, Olympia Entertainment said, "We are committed to a culture of respect, safety, and inclusion. We do not tolerate discrimination or harassment, and when concerns are raised, we investigate promptly and take decisive action," which has included terminating employees for misconduct, regardless of seniority or tenure. The article also cited the Tigers as being one of only 3 major league teams that don't offer women paid maternity leave. A spokesperson for Olympia Entertainment says that's going to change. So as of January 1st, new moms will get 12 weeks paid maternity leave.
Ford Motor Company is launching its first global branding overhaul in more than a decade.
Yes, the Dearborn-based automaker's new campaign is called Ready, Set, Ford. It represents a marketing shift toward emphasizing customer lifestyles rather than nameplates. So you're going to see of what Ford calls passion vehicles that, in their words, bring out the best in human capability. 60-second spots began airing today in the U.S. The last time Ford launched a global marketing rebrand was in 2012 under the Go Further tagline.
Tonight, in a Local 4 exclusive, I sit down with Marion Sheridan. If you're not familiar with that name, she is one of 15 Michigan Republicans whose charges were dismissed in the high-profile case accusing them of serving as so-called fake electors who signed papers claiming Donald Trump won Michigan in 2020. Sheridan is the Republican elector for the 11th Congressional District in Oakland County. For the first time on TV, she's sharing what happened behind closed doors and why she believes the now dropped charges against her and others were politically motivated. When you signed on that day, what did you think you were doing?
Signing an alternate slate to be used in the event that the election was overturned.
So, Marion, do you believe these charges were politically motivated?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. All through history, people have been persecuted and prosecuted by governments, and it's, I hate to say that it's, you know, like, why should I be any different? But I guess I would think that the United States would be different.
You might remember we covered it here on Local 4. Yesterday, the judge ruled 15 people, including Marion, accused of serving as so-called fake electors, genuinely believe they were alternate electors, exercising their constitutional rights as part of a political strategy, not fake electors committing fraud or trying to overturn the election. But Attorney General Dana Nessel disagrees with that ruling. Listen.
They knew they were not electors. They knew they were not inside the Capitol. They knew Donald Trump lost, but then they lied anyway, and that is a crime.
Nessel now says her office is evaluating whether or not to appeal the judge's decision. Similar cases are pending right now in Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and Wisconsin. We'll have much more with Marion Sheridan tonight at 11 o'clock, and we'll also post the entire 20-minute uncut interview with her on clickondetroit.com later tonight as well.